All right. We will be looking at all this, particularly the state of the nation, and we will now be joined by former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, Professor Usman Yusuf, who will be joining us to look at the state of the nation and, of course, share, his perspectives very briefly on what the president said this morning on his New Year's broadcast. Professor Usman Yusuf, as you can see there, joins us via Zoom. All right, good morning and good to have you, Prof. Let's begin by wishing you a happy New Year.
Same to
Happy
you.
New Year, Prof.
Same to you. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, I'm sure you listened to the president's broadcast. Let's get your reaction to the areas that the president touched on.
Right. So I just had the speech. It's a general global perspective of the year 2020 and the state of the nation. But it has not, the speech has not touched on what is bothering my people, which is persistent insecurity in the North. It's been generic, but it hasn't done justice to it. We have a lot of our people still in the forest, all across the North. In Katsina State, we have those that I know. Namusa, 16 people, this is their 12th day in captivity with the bandits. In Dandume, 71-year-old. In Dandume, 4 people, including a nursing mother whose child is just about 50 days old, still in captivity. In Batagara, 15-20 minutes from Katsina, 71-year-old woman, after her husband has been killed and her son has been killed, still with bandits. They are demanding 30 million. A lot of the villages around Sabua local government have deserted the place. And all the 11 local governments that are under siege in Katsina, from Jibia in the north to Sabua down, it's a daily occurrence. These bandits go every day in their villages. What I had from the president was a generic restructuring of the security system. It has taken this long. We need to see action. We need to see action, and we need to know how are people going to be rescued. The hundreds, probably thousands of people still in the hands of kidnappers all across the north, in the forest in the north. And how is our highway going to be safer? And how are our farmers going to be safer? He spoke about agriculture. Agriculture in the north, especially in the northwest, is just on the paper. In Katsina, the 11 local governments are the most productive agriculturally. People are not going to the farm.
Prof, if you were in a position to advise the president on his New Year message, how would you have advised, that his message is tailored to suit, the peculiar needs of your people who are currently battling insecurity?
The whole nation, the whole of the North, which is 78% of the landmass of this country, is under siege by these bandits and Boko Haram. And down south too, answers has stirred the hornet's nest. You see cultists, you see armed robbery, you see kidnappers, and we have alienated police thanks to NSAS. So insecurity is everywhere in this country, and it's only a lot more acute in the north. And so it should be top on the list, because without security, all this infrastructure development will just be on the paper. Nothing will happen. And
okay,
it should be first on the list. And to be honest, I've said it before and I will say it again. Boko Haram, 12 years has gone on for too long. The president needs to tell us how he will end this thing during his term and how soon this banditry will end. This is the most important for our people. I don't see us asking for bridges or trains or anything without security. Without security, nothing will happen. So for us, security, 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 no more.
Now, still staying with the issue of insecurity, the president in his broadcast mentioned the fact that the military authorities were able to rescue the Kankara boys, and that indeed showed competence of the military in handling internal security issues. He also said they will be engaging and pushing back criminals, including Boko Haram in Nigeria. Now, would you be calling, are you calling on the government to adopt the strategy which was used in rescuing the Kankara boys for some of these people that you have mentioned?
Yeah, what is the strategy? We don't know. There were negotiations. We don't know how much they were paid, if they were paid. So we don't know. But, okay, the kids were brought back home, and we're all very happy for the parents. And nobody can begrudge whoever was responsible. They say it's Mieta Allah, Zamfara State, Katsina State, the military, the government. It truly, we are happy they're back. But the questions Nigerians should be asking is, it should not have happened in the first place. Every parent that sends his kids to school should not expect his kid to be abducted. These kids were abducted in Kankara. These bandits went into the village on a motorcycle, went into the school, abducted 344 children, and pushed them into the forest. Where were they found? They were found around Jaffe in Zamfara State. I mean, the picture of this, the video clip of these kids when they were rescued was heartbreaking. They were limping. Many of them were just about 10, 11. They were pushed into the forest to trek for days. The danger for us in the north, in a place where education has been a challenge, is parents are not sending their kids back to school because there's no guarantee anyone would secure them. There is this thing after Chibok. It's been 6, 7 years after Chibok and 2 years after Dapchi, and we still had another Chibok in Katsina. We're glad they came out. It should not have happened in the first place. And there is no guarantee. Government needs to come and reassure all Nigerians that their children are safe in school. How do you do that? There is this thing called Safe School Initiative that has fizzled since after Chibok. How do we secure all our schools in this country? We need to fence them, we need to put cameras, and we need to put security 24/7. The best way, I'm a pediatrician, the best way to treat this kind of trauma in children is to make sure you return them back to normality. But they're back home. What is Katsina State government or what is federal government doing to return our kids back to school? That is the most important thing. Yeah, so we're glad they are back. It should not have happened in the first place, and it shouldn't happen anywhere in this country.
Prof, the last mass abduction in Nigeria after the Chibok and, of course, the Dapchi incidents happened in Katsina State, talking about the Kankara boys. And Katsina State incidentally happens to be the state where you come from and also where Mr. President comes from. Is it true that a third of Katsina State is currently under the control of bandits?
Local governments in Katsina and 11 local governments from Jibia up north on the border of Niger to Sabwa down south. 11 local governments, they are under siege by bandits, and 11 over 34 is 32%. That's 1/3. It's not acceptable. We didn't have this before this government came in. So it's a serious problem. We didn't have IDPs before this government came in. I could drive from Abuja straight to Katsina. Now you cannot do that. So let's be honest with ourselves. We have a problem, a major problem. A third of Katsina is under siege by these bandits. The city is filling up as an IDP camp. A lot of our people are still in the hands of bandits all over the country, especially in the north. And what saddens me is that there is not a single governor in this country, especially in the north, that had statistics of how many of his people have been killed, how many of the women raped, how many cattle rustled, how many villages razed, how much has been paid for ransom. No statistics. But here we are in Abuja, every day we hear statistics about COVID. Oh, we have 2 in Kazana. Oh, we have 3 in Kano. Oh, we have 5 in Ogun. Oh, we have 6 in... Insecurity is a bigger threat to Nigeria than COVID-19. The amount of attention, the amount of money expended on COVID-19 and the attention given to COVID-19 by the federal government. Look at the PTF, composed of 7, 8 ministers, daily briefing the nation about, oh, we have 5 in Kano, we have 3. No, we should have a dashboard in this country. How many people have been killed today in which local government in Katsina? How many people have been killed in Yobe? How many women raped? How many? This is the reality of the lives of our people. Not COVID. I'm a doctor. I know how important COVID is. But insecurity in the north is a bigger killer and a more serious threat than COVID.
Now,
and I am one that always goes to the mosque and tell people COVID is important and people should continue with the preventive measures we have. But government must pay a lot more attention to insecurity.
Now, Professor Yusuf, on the issue of insecurity, will you be agreeing with the statement made by the Sultan of Sokoto that the North has become one of the most dangerous places to live in? Because you've mentioned that it's now more difficult to go towards your own state, unlike in the past. So I would like to find out from you if you are agreeing with his comment. And then also linking that with what Reverend Father Marty Kuka also said recently with regards to the issue of insecurity and the dust, which his comments have raised. How do you see the reaction to Father Kuka's statement and you are agreeing with the Sultan of Sokoto?
Yeah, what the Sultan of Sokoto said is the truth. And he mentioned 76% of his people in Sokoto were killed in one day. In one day. Show me where COVID killed 76 people in one day. It's a recurring problem. And for the Sultan to say that at a meeting in public, government should take it and listen to us very seriously. It's not often our religious, our traditional rulers speak up. The leader of our traditional rulers, the leader of Muslims in Nigeria is the Sultan. He spoke up because it is his duty. And I've said it before, because on that day that is certain, he that has the mantle of leadership and all our clerics and all of us, including myself and you, will be asked to account. What did we do when our people were going through this? Did we keep quiet? Did we run away and become IDPs ourselves in Abuja? No, it is our duty and responsibility to speak up. And when we do speak up, it should not be misconstrued by the government as being against the government. No, we love this country more than we love any government. This is our country. We don't have any other one. Us speaking up is giving voice to the voiceless amongst us. We see their sufferings. We hear their pleas. Many of us have lost relatives. I said it on one of the shows in one of the TVs. In a village in Kaduna State, I know somebody whose family members, 6 of them were taken into the forest. And they are demanding 60 million from a person who does not have 5,000 naira of his own. The latest is, they've released the 8-month-old pregnant woman after they were paid by a motorcycle to them. But they are still holding on to the 5. This is not new.
All right.
The story is the same all over the country.
All right, Prof.
Back to Reverend Kuka. I don't want to comment on that. The reason it has caused a lot of furor You don't see me talk about service chiefs or the president's media chiefs or personalities. Why? Because it takes away the story from our real problem. Our real problem is insecurity, not individuals or what they say. Everybody has a right to say. But when you do say that, especially people in a position, I always ask myself, what would Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? And Christians should ask themselves, what would Jesus do in a situation like this? Once we do that, we'll be able to do and say the right thing. So forgive me if I don't go through what Reverend Martin Cooker said. It's his right as a citizen to say that. But I can say things and get away with them. If he says because of his position, it carries a lot more weight. So leaders should be very circumspect what they say, lest they cause more problems or it gets misconstrued.
All right, Prof. The northern part of the country used to be very, very peaceful. Youth Corps members from the south, before now, we are excited to be posted to serve in the northern part of the country. And of course, businessmen and women were also excited to travel from the south to purchase livestock and of course fabrics in the north. It was then peaceful. But the situation is now different. Prof, what for you are the underlying causes of this security crisis Nigeria is currently experiencing in the northern part of the country? Though it's not peculiar to the north, every part of this country has one security challenge or the other. But why have things suddenly changed, in the north? We're experiencing banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and several forms of crime. What are the underlying causes, of this crisis, Prof?
Good. So insecurity in the north, especially banditry, has been exhaustively studied by a professor at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Sadiq. He spent a lot of time, up to 4 years in Zamfara, studying, working with pastoralists and herders and farmers, and beautiful report, which he presented and gave to the federal government. And I don't know what they did with it. But I said it, and you look at the history of insecurity in the north, including Boko Haram and banditry. Did we have this before 1999? Is there any relation between insecurity and politicians and the way they do their politics in Nigeria? And I said it in a paper I wrote. Insecurity in the north is nothing but a symptom of corruption and bad governance. End of story. So in a region where you have huge inequality, huge inequalities, sea of poverty everywhere, massive illiteracy, millions of children out of school, and poverty, and you don't have jobs for children, our children. Even for those who qualify, many graduates are staying at home, no jobs. Why? Because a lot of the juicy positions in NNPC, CBN, FIRS, everywhere, you have to know somebody. This is where we are. And of course, continuing corruption. You will never have peace in a setting like this. Inequality, continuing corruption, bad governance, these are all causes of insecurity in this country and everywhere else. So, tackle corruption and tackle bad governance. Our leaders need to do better in governing our people. All the state governors, all the 36 governors. The idea of development is investing in concrete flyovers and roads instead of improving schools, instead of improving hospitals and improving the health indices. Health indices in this country, especially in the northwest and the northeast, have worsened. Maternal mortality, how many women die in childbirth? How many children die when they're born? How many under fives die? What is the level of malnutrition? It has worsened worse than the 30 years when I was resident here in ABU Teaching Hospital. So you have this much money and little gain for the people. And everybody keep blaming Buhari. Buhari, yeah, he has a share of blame. But over 60 to 70% of the problems of the people are local governors and local government. A good governor is more important to you than a president. It's not the president that will fix your school. It's not the president that will do borehole. It's not the president that will build dispensaries. It's the governors. We need to do better in electing people that will work for us. Governors, we need to do better in demanding of our governors to explain.
Now, Prof, in all of these that you've tried to explain, are these pointers to the fact that the country, like some foreign media reports have it, is moving towards a failed state?
Well, I don't know the indices, because for you to make that conclusion, you have a lot of indices to follow, and I'm not privy to that. But go and ask people in the 11 local governments under siege in Katsina and tell them, oh, has government done well for them? The answer is no. So all these statistics, GDP, recession, this is Abuja thing. Ask our people, are they more secure today than they were 5-6 years ago? Is their naira going further than it went before? Are they seeing better governance locally? Because they don't even know what's happening in the federal government. Are they seeing better governance locally? The answers to all of this are no. They are not secure. They are poorer. And I said it, in the north now, the economy has moved into the forest. These bandits are taking our people like slaves into the forest and demanding money from their loved ones to get them out. People that essentially...
I should switch off the fan. Okay, yes, we can switch it off.
Yeah, people that are poor, they are selling their meager resource, their meager possession. They are selling their farmland. They are selling their houses. They are selling their cattle. They are selling their farm products to pay taxes to bandits.
No, Prof, okay.
To pay for ransom.
Prof, several development index reports over the years, seem not to have favored the North. Like you rightly pointed out, poverty is on the increase. We also have the problem of out-of-school children in the northern part of the country. Very, very discouraging statistics. But of course, there are several other issues, bordering, affecting the northern part of the country, which may have given rise to this insecurity challenge that region is currently facing. But let's move on to the solution. Some people believe that beyond, tackling this problem from the security point of view, there's also need to look at the socio-economic, aspect of it. What's your position in this debate on how to tackle the problem of insecurity in northern Nigeria? Some persons have recommended the sack of the service chiefs and, of course, a total overhaul of the current security architecture in the country. Prof, what's your recommendation?
Right. I don't talk about service chiefs, to be honest, because they are serving at the pleasure of the president. He appointed them, not you and I. So it is up to him. If he's happy with the way things are going, he keeps them. If he's not happy, then he lets them go. But there is no one person in this country that is, not even the president, is greater than this country. So for me to be investing time on service chiefs, sack them, is taken from the real issue. The real issue is people are being killed every day. Women are being raped. Many do not sleep in their villages. And there is famine. People, the most fertile part of Katsina is where these bandits are sieging. People do not have food. We didn't have this 5-6 years ago. So talking about service chief is a distraction. If the president wants to continue with this, that is his prerogative. But if I'm the one, I will do a massive shakedown of this government. I'm bringing new blood. People have been there for too long. 6 years is too long. I'm sure even the president is tired. 6 years is too long to be in one place, doing the same thing. You need to be dynamic. Things need to be shaken up. Because the honest truth, things are not going well. Our people are not safe. Our people are poorer than they were. And corruption is on the increase. So the three things, the three legs that they came in their campaign manifesto is not getting any better, it's getting any worse. But most importantly, the government, especially the president, needs to talk to us, needs to be in touch with his people. It is different from just reading a speech written by advisors.
All right. Professor Usman Yusuf, we must thank you indeed for your time on this first day of 2021. Your thoughts, especially with regards to the state of the nation. You said that corruption and bad governance is the main issue which is fueling insecurity. However, the president has also said that he will do more to ensure that the issue of anti-corruption is being sustained, and has pleaded with the judiciary to also speed up with cases regarding anti-corruption. Many thanks indeed for your time and thoughts, Professor Usman Yusuf, former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, the NHIS.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you again.